Hi, this is Dina with Pretty Productive. We're a mother and daughter Etsy shop that makes stickers, cash envelopes, anything for budgeting or planner tools. Today we're going to be doing our October week 1 check-in for cash stuffing as well as updating the budget. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Just take this, put this aside. So I had a really good week this week, but when I first rolled this out, I talked about it being a work in progress, and you can see by the mess, it is totally a work in progress. So some bills that I had estimated had come through, and then I'll show you where I am on my cash stuffing envelope. So we'll start first with the changes. So I added 2 things to my income. One is carryover of $24 that was in my account that just to make it easy, I rolled it over. My daughter paid me back money she had owed me, so I rolled that over. And then my expenses were actually more. I was reimbursed for meals that I had not planned in. So my new income for the month, everything combined. And then on my fixed expenses, mortgage stayed the same. My cell phone bill actually came down. I thought it was going to be more because I had an international plan, so the difference was $49. Telephone was the same, internet was the same, Netflix is the same, water and trash was a little bit less. It was only $125 versus I had estimated $140, so the difference was $15. Electric, huge difference, thank God. I had estimated my bill to be $520 because that's what it's been running. It came in at $236. It was almost $200 less than what it was last year. So it was a difference of $284. So I'll show you where that went. Life insurance, I forgot to include my husband's life insurance. So it's $106, not $81. Auto insurance should be the same. Our gas bill, which is a natural gas, was $21 versus $22. And then our HOA was the same. My subscriptions were the same. So the new total for all of my fixed expenses is $48.36. Change this over here. That's why I use erasable pens and why I call this a work in progress. I also use the Dave Ramsey Every Dollar app, so I'll update it in the app before I update it on here. So I kind of just work through the numbers. Lifestyle stayed the same. The only difference was instead of 100 for personal care, I changed that to 80. So this came down to 2080. I must have a bad batch of these friction pens because these do not erase like my other ones did. So my debt snowball stayed the same. I did take this $2 off. I don't know why I added $2. So it's $2,000. And then the biggest difference was the sinking fund. So when my daughter paid me back, I put that back into my gift sinking fund, which is where I had taken that money from. And then I added another sinking fund. My daughter is moving at the end of the month. She's moving back home for a short period of time. So I did put money in that so that I could pay people to help us move. My husband's going to be out of town when she moves, and I didn't want her and I trying to lift mattresses. So I hired my son-in-law and his friend. So I did create a sinking fund for her moving expenses. So my new total, and so that balances too. Okay, so let's go ahead and start reviewing cash envelopes. I did really well with my cash envelopes and eating out this time. So for groceries, I have 500 in for the month. I did decide to go to the grocery store on Sunday and meal prep and eat at home all week, which we've been going out a lot. I had been doing HelloFresh, but I really didn't like the menus. So what I decided to do was pull out my recipes from HelloFresh. I looked up some of the spices and different things online and got those recipes, and went to the grocery store with what I had in the freezer plus what I needed for those recipes, and I've cooked every night this week. So that really, I think at the end of the day, probably is about the same amount of money as ordering HelloFresh, but we were able to use up some of the things we had in the freezer, plus kind of have a lot of variety this week. So I started with $100 is what I originally funded this as, and then I had $150 that I was going to add in for this week. So I put the whole $250 in the envelope. So half of the money is still in the account, and then I took the other half out in cash. What I have left in this envelope is $109. So I spent whatever that balance is, and here are my receipts for that. So it was really one trip to Walmart that he did in 2 different transactions. So I have 109 left. So let's see what we spent. I should be able to figure this out, but you know, I'm very calculator dependent now. So I spent 141, and so my remaining is $359. And then eating out, put this back in here. And we really do have enough still to take us through most of this week. I again did not order HelloFresh. I just really have not liked what they've offered lately. So eating out, and this is the first time ever, I have spent nothing. So I put $100 in, I left $100 in the account because I cooked all week, we did not go out. So I spent $0, so I still have $200. You guys probably don't understand how amazing this is. I have never gone an entire week without at least one meal out. Giving, I still have the money in here because last Sunday was actually part of what my September budget was, so this is in here for this week. So that stayed the same. So next week you'll see where that starts to come out. Recreation, again, I did not spend anything. I put my Michael's coupons and Joann's coupons in here because that is my recreation. So I started with 70, I still have 70, so that is gonna go back in here. And then I still have $10 that I left in my account in case I order something online. And then personal care, this is the one that's gonna be used up today. So today I am having a massage, so I will take my tip out of here. And then I'm taking my daughters to get mani-pedis. It's my one daughter's birthday, so it's kind of a tradition that we do in our family is that the 3 of us go and we either go get massages or we do mani-pedis. So it's gonna be a little expensive, but I do take that out of my birthday gift sinking fund. So in my personal care, I had 40, I still have 40. I'm gonna use all of this today plus what I pulled out as well. I don't take my mani-pedi out of the birthday fund, I take it out of personal care and I take it out of a reward category that I have. But I take both daughters out of the sinking fund for gifts. So I spent 0. I still have 100. So for gifts, I ordered 2 of her gifts online, which I took out of the sinking fund. So this $40 is still here. And I'm gonna use this towards our mani-pedis today. So gifts, actually what happened was I changed this to 40. I've used nothing, so we still have 40. And then my allowance, which normally is gone by day 2 of the month or the week, I actually only spent part of it, and I spent that yesterday. So I started with 50, I still have 27, and I'll put in the other 50 for this week, today. So I did really well on that. So I spent 23. I still have 77 when I put in the other 50. And then I will have miscellaneous envelope that I am going to put in, and you'll see what I'm going to do with that. So let's get started with cash settling for week 2. So groceries. I'm not going to put anything in this week. I'm going to see what happens throughout the week if we need to add money to that or if we end up ordering something online, but I'm going to not stuff that. Eating out. I still have 100. I'm not going to stuff that. Again, you have no idea how amazing that is that I have not touched the envelope yet. Recreation is going to stay the same. I'm not going to touch that. Personal care I am adding 2. And then gifts I am adding 2. And my allowance I'll add 2. And then this miscellaneous, which is reward, I'm adding 2. So reward is a category that I normally don't have an envelope for. I call it my virtual envelope, and I use it for kind of a motivation to stay on track with my diet, with my exercise. I am following along with the Rachel Hollis last 90 days. I've gotten up every morning an hour early. I've drank half my body weight in water. I've worked out, move your body 30 minutes, start your day with gratitude, and give up 1 food. So I gave up processed sugar, so candy and cookies. And I've done that every single day this week. So I'm going to take part of that money and put it towards my mani-pedi. Okay, so let's get started. I have notes over here. Okay, before we do the envelopes, I'm going to go back here for just a second. So this is the October monthly. This is the Erin Condren 7x9 monthly, deluxe monthly. So I am going to go ahead and lay down my stickers for what I have already done. So lifestyle, let's start with fixed expenses. So my mortgage came out on the 1st. My HOA came out of the first. Wow, that's crooked. Still crooked. My mobile phone. Now on the 2nd. And that all is all I've done there. Then for my cash envelopes, I spent $23 from my allowance. It was all spent yesterday. And for groceries, I spent $141. And that was on Sunday when I went to the grocery store. I'd forgotten how expensive spices were. But if you are a HelloFresh subscriber, you can go online and Google their spices. So I made up batches of the fry seasoning as well as the smoky barbecue, which had a lot of sugar in it, but it's so good. And then I think that is all that I have spent. This is really kind of amazing. Okay, so let's get to the cash stocking. Years of working in retail makes me very particular about how money is all facing. These are my envelopes. And then miscellaneous, you're gonna see this, how this one comes into play. And then you've probably seen this before, but this is from A Time for Everything. I bought mine on Amazon. You can also get it through Etsy, but they are dividers. And this is where I keep the extra money that I'm holding on to for another week. Oh, the other thing too, for household, I'd forgotten that I had canceled the lady who comes and helps out at the house because we were supposed to be out of town, and so that money will roll over. So that's still in there. So for groceries, we're not going to stuff, and for eating out, we're not going to. For giving, I have my money in here for this week, and then I have $100 in here for the following week. So recreation, I'm not going to stuff. There's still $70 in there, so that one stays. So personal care, this is where it's going to get a little fun. So I had $40 left in my personal care fund. And I had not been getting massages lately, but I went online to book my massage. I go to Elements, and the therapist that I had before that I loved, who left for a little bit, is back. So I went ahead and booked her out for the next couple of weeks. So I'm going today for a massage, and then I'm going with her later on in the month, and then I'll see her again next month. So I'm very excited about that. So I'm gonna put the balance of what I'm gonna have in this account, which is 40, and I'm gonna take 4 5s and 2 10s. So I will have $80 in here, and then that will need to take me through massages, tips, because I already pay it through a subscription, as well as anything I need extra for my pedicure today. And then this month, I won't be adding any more to this envelope because that means everything will have been spent. So gifts, I've gotten part of my daughter's birthday gifts. I had to order them online, so I ordered them earlier in the week. I just took that money from my sinking fund and used my debit card. So the balance of what needs to go into this account is $200. And that is for the rest of her gifts, as well as to pay for part of the massages today. So I'm going to, so there's 160, 170, 180, and there's 15 ones, so 80, one more 10. I like to have a lot of ones with me for tips, because 3 of us are going, and you know how it is, like they'll each have their own person and I'll have my own person, and then I feel like I'm running around at the end and making sure everybody has tip money. So I just take it all in cash and break it out in advance. I went online and looked at what the costs were, asked my girls what they were gonna have what they wanted to have done today, as far as if they were having gel manicures or what pedicure they wanted, calculated the tip, so this will go with us today. And then I still have 40 in here from before. When I started this tradition when they were young, it wasn't gel manicures, gel pedicures. It was literally really simple, maybe a flower on a toe, but all good. That's why I have sinking funds, right? And then the rest of the money in here will go towards buying her last couple of little things I still need to get for her. Okay, so for my allowance, that is coming out of the tab from last week. So when I do my cash stuffing, I always pull the money out for the following week and put it under the tab, and then that stays at home, so I'm not likely to spend it. So I'm gonna put this 50 in here. I am going to Target today. That's always deadly, but we'll see. So I will have 77 in here. And this needs to last me until next week. And then my miscellaneous is going to be my reward money. So for me today, my reward will be my pedicure, and that is for staying on track with the last 90 days, really being very intentional in my spending as well as my food choices, and getting to the gym every single day. So I set aside $100 in this fund at the beginning of the month. And I've set it aside before and not used it. So I'm excited that I'm actually gonna get to use it. But that's why I set it aside, so that it's above and beyond my allowance, but sometimes it's there and it rolls over, sometimes it gets used, but lately I've not used it. So I am gonna get to use this today. And this will probably be empty at the end of today. And then the only one that I have left in here is for the household, because as I said earlier, she did not come this week, so she'll be back in 2 weeks. So I'll take these two and put them back in here, and these stay at home so I don't spend them when I'm out and about. And these will all go back into my Filofax. Some of my bills are direct paid to Capital One, so I just keep a note of that, and then I just know at the end of the month what is going to that, so that I know when those are coming out. This one is very thick. The system has worked well for me. I am naturally a spender, and this week I've been very intentional with my spending, so that's enabled me to have a little bit more wiggle room. This is the Maldron Filofax. I did get it from Amazon. It's a little thicker, but it also has my personal calendar, so I really enjoy having a little bit more room in there, and I keep my checkbook in here as well, my check register. So that is it for cash stuffing for October week 1. I hope you guys are all having an amazing week and you're doing well on your budgets as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, hit the button so you make sure that you get all notifications of our videos, and thank you so much.